When you have a limitation in life is when you need to grow. You die or you grow.
When you do something that you love, that is aligned with your mission, you don't get the energy from your body, you get it from above.
Movement is life. As soon as you keep moving, you're gonna live freely.
There's no positive money or bad money. It's neutral. It's the way you use it.
Every morning, what are you doing? Sending messages, asking to your family or friend, how are you? How are you doing? And when is the last time when you ask the same to yourself?
Welcome to the Self-Made Show. Today, very special guest, the first female guest on the podcast. It had to be you, my wife, Alice Veglio. She's not only my wife, but also fitness entrepreneur, fitness model, athlete, and she built one of the largest communities of women doing fitness in Italy, and now also expanding worldwide. How are you?
Of course, glad to be here, finally.
You had to be the first guest on the podcast, on the female guest.
Thank you, such an honor.
Amazing. So for those who don't know you, can you share a little bit of your background story? Obviously, we got married here, where we met 7 years ago. But before building your community, before starting your fitness journey, who was Alice Veglio? What did you do before?
It's a long story. I try to make it short. Basically, I found out when I was 14 years old that I had a twist on my back, so a very serious spinal problem. And I consider this event a twisting point of my life. Because when you are a child, you just think about a dreamy future in which you can do whatever you want. But then when you have a limitation in life is when you need to grow. Or you die or you grow. So in that point of my life, I found myself like blocked, unable to do what I want to do.
You were dancing, yeah?
I was dancing. Dance was all my life. And suddenly what was my life expression, so dance, was my worst enemy because I was unable to dance. I had to put a plaster on me, so I wasn't able to even lace my shoes. So after that event, I spent 4 years without moving. I found myself going to treatments, physiotherapy, osteopath, and I got serious problem even to move, even to run. I saw my mates running, playing volleyball, and I wasn't able to do that.
How did it affect you also psychologically, that part? Because I think how old you were when that started?
Yeah, I was
14
years old. And
so this is the moment when you start maybe hanging out the first boyfriends, and then...
Of course. And as you know, I truly believe in holistic approach. And I think that mind is connected to body. And our physical limitation can become mental limitation after a while. So I was already introvert. I wasn't an outgoing girl. So that made me feel like in a self-jail. So I wasn't speaking to people much, but there was a focal point in my life when I decided to leave my home region, so Aosta Valley, that is a small region in Italy. No one knows it.
It's true. Whenever we meet somebody, they ask you where you're from. Some people know my city, but nobody knows about your city.
Genoa is fine, but when you speak about Aosta Valley, no one knows. So
it's up in the mountain, close at the border with France, basically, near France.
Yeah, near Switzerland and France. So I was studying in Liceo Classico, that in Italy is one of the most difficult kind of high school.
Yeah, when you study Latin and Greek.
Yeah, in France. Because I decided to study in double language. Then the last year of high school, I decided to go abroad just to challenge myself. New high school, new people around me, new background around. And in that school, I think that I was reborn again because I found very interesting teacher. They taught me how to start moving again. I started including in my life movements and sport. And that made me realize that maybe sport, my worst enemy since before, can be a lifesaver because I found myself more flexible. I found myself with more energy. So I started studying hard all the elements needed to use movement as a medicine. And
which is the opposite, because in Italy the doctors were telling you, don't move, stay home, be careful, you might be paralyzed.
Yeah, for the rest of my
life.
life.
Your backbone is broken, you know.
Yeah, I was supposed to perform a surgery on my back, and this is very risky, especially when you are 14 years old. So what they prescribed to me is immobility for the rest of your life. Maybe with pregnancy, you could have problem, you cannot play volleyball, you cannot jump, you cannot do anything. But then I started slowly to study sport, movement. I found a special person in my life that was my osteopath, and he told me, Alice, movement is life. As soon as you keep moving, you're gonna live freely. And I think that in that exact moment is when Bright and Fit was born. All the mission around Bright and Fit was born. The situation in which a woman or a person in general find herself blocked and then find a way to unblock all the limitation and rise from that. So basically my life was that. After the high school, I studied economics, but then, I'm a very creative person.
And it was not for you.
I didn't like that path for me.
But when I met you, so basically the story is that when I came on vacation in Dubai in 2018 in April, and can we share the true story? Let's say the true story.
Let's share it.
True story, okay?
The true story.
True story.
Real true story.
True story. True story.
With all the tiny details.
Okay, I'll do it. So I go to Nikki Beach. Nikki Beach is a big club in Dubai, beautiful girls and everything. So I see this beautiful girl, and she was very beautiful. So I'm like, maybe she's too much for me. At the beginning, actually, I thought you were an escort.
Tiny detail.
Because it was full of them, it was normal. I was approaching a girl, she was asking me for money. It was like that, So this is the hard truth for some places, around the world, and in Dubai as well sometimes. So I see this girl, but I'm like, okay, she's too beautiful. Maybe she's gonna ask for money. I don't know, but definitely she's too much for me. So I'm gonna hook up with her girlfriend. Okay, so I go meet her girlfriend, and I try to approach her and everything. It didn't work out. Okay, and the day you didn't talk to me. Right?
No.
Not much.
I was
because I was hooking up with your friend.
Yeah, I found your colleague Fabio very interesting, and actually we started speaking. And the weird thing behind it is that in the exact moment I met Fabio, I realized that the art of creating our life really works, because in the morning I did Ikigai. Ikigai is a Japanese exercise in which you try to find out your mission and vision in life. And the solution of my Ikigai that morning was fitness, wellness for women online. And at that moment in 2018, no one was doing fitness online. And maybe at that exact moment in which I found out that my mission could be fitness online, I thought it was impossible. And even when I spoke to people about it, they told me, why you need to exercise online? You have gyms for that. So there's a no sense. True. But then as I spoke with Fabio, he told me, we help entrepreneurs to digitalize their activities, their job. So we can help you with that. So the story is that Fabio got her Instagram, but Fabio had no intention because he's happily married. So he got her Instagram, and he's like, man, I think you're going to like this girl. She's spiritual, she's beautiful, she's charismatic. And he kept pushing me. Like, you should call her, do it, message her and everything. But eventually with your friend didn't work out. And I was a bit shy, because what I'm going to do? Her friend say me no, and then I'm going to call her, and then I don't know. I didn't know what to do. But, a few weeks after that, I follow you on Instagram, and I start looking what you're publishing and everything. And I'm like, this girl is interesting. She's spiritual. She likes the same things I like. And then basically we started our collaboration just for work. I mean, I had more intentions. I had more intentions, but it was for work. And then we built your website, you remember? Yeah, of course. We started slowly. And at the moment I met you, I didn't have the intention to go through a relationship, because I was pretty focused into my job. I was working for United Nations, so the job was very good. I worked hard to get that job, but I found myself unhappy. And sometimes we feel that we are losing something if we give up on our previous goal. But I think that we are defeated only when we keep pushing on a way we don't feel like our own. So as soon as we realize that we have different goals, that our vibration is going somewhere else, it's good to sit down, and sometimes the choice of changing is the best
But
one.
those days, I mean, back in the days you were working at the office for the United Nations, you were going to the office every day. What you were thinking when you were in that desk on the computer all day?
I was living a life that wasn't mine, because sometimes we live with self-limiting belief, because we try to follow the path and the footstep of people before us, our family. We try to do something that is social respectable. So I thought that by studying economics, so a very basic kind of studies, and then finding a good job, working for United Nations when I was 23, would be social acceptable. But then to be social accepted as limitation, because then at the end of the day, it's you with what you have done in your day. And if you feel unhappy, then what's the point of
But
that?
you remember what happened to me? I think the lowest point of my career was when I became a university professor. Remember that the media in Italy, that guy, the journalist, attacked me, and I had so many issues. I lost many clients because I was doing something that they didn't like. I didn't want to be a university professor. Those things, the socially acceptable ones that you're talking about, were not for me. So I wasn't happy.
Yeah.
And the same was going on for you.
Yeah, and I think that things can bloom only when you have all your energy in. When you try to live a life that is not yours, your vibration is not aligned with the results. So you have a lot of struggle, you have a lot of difficulties doing that. And I felt like everything was flowing with Bright and Fit.
Yeah, it's true.
As soon as we started my mission, my website, my videos, everything was flowing.
Okay. Wait. Step back. Okay. So
Slower.
yeah. So basically, how your fitness company was born. I want to focus on that. So we built your website, we launched it, but we didn't have yet the fitness program. Remember, we did the website first.
Yes.
When you were just an influencer and a model. We just pushed that on the website at the beginning.
Bright and Fit idea was already there.
Yeah, I know, of course. But we didn't have the videos, of the workouts. So
this is a pretty story.
Yeah, so the story is that we were together maybe for 4 months.
Yes, it was like
and we didn't see each
December.
other much because I was still living in Spain. You were here in Dubai. Maybe we saw each other 3 times, actually. We were together, we saw each other 3 times. So we go on vacation at the Maldives. She was already there because you were on vacation with your parents. And I joined you at the Maldives for New Year's. So 2018. Yeah, 2019, actually. Yeah,
it was just 18, 19.
18, 19, yes. So we go there, we book a nice resort. And I go there with the idea of spending time with my girlfriend.
Maldives girlfriend.
Yeah, this was the idea. So I landed at the airport and she was coming from another island. And she told me, I'm going to be there before you. Just when you go out, you're going to find me. I get out of the airplane. I get out of the airport. There was nobody there. So imagine I'm there. I traveled from Italy, from Spain to Italy, Italy to Maldives. I arrived there. She wasn't there. So I thought you just forgot about me or you find another man, whatever. So I was alone. I wait 30 minutes, an hour and a half, disappeared. She was gone. I call her, text her, nothing, completely gone. Then I have an idea and I'm like, I'm going to ask at the desk, maybe they know about your flight. It was delayed.
You could expect it because it was raining.
It was raining.
Hard.
Yeah, but still you disappeared. No messages, no phone calls, nothing. You were just gone. Thanks God. The reservation at the hotel was under my name. So worst case scenario, I was thinking, okay, I'm going to take the boat, go to the resort. I'm going to spend a week alone in the Maldives, which is not bad. But eventually you appeared. You were late, but you appeared.
Yeah, I was.
And you gave me the worst vacation of my life. Yeah, because we were recording fitness videos all day.
Yeah, but I was on a mission. My mission.
And you were on a mission, but I was on
Bright and Fit.
vacation.
I was in love with you, of course, but I was in love also with my vision. So yeah, I'm very thankful and grateful for that, because at that moment I realized that the man I want with me for the rest of my life was someone able to support my goal, someone to push me farther, and is what I found in you, Matteo. So something really different.
I conquered you on that vacation.
Past. Yeah, exactly. So sometimes you lose something.
It's true. No, I'm joking now. I'm happy. I'm happy the way it went.
Yeah, because relationship is not just about being together, having fun. It's also about dealing together with difficult situation, dealing with work. And I think that was a warm-up for what came next.
We had many warm-ups before our marriage, but yeah. So basically, remember, we did the videos there at the Maldives.
Yes. So many.
Like
it was
all
so
day.
sore.
All day recording. Yeah. And then we launched the proper fitness program. First day, 2-3 sales. You remember?
Yeah, I remember the rule you shared with me: 1 a day, just 1 a day, or 2 a day. And this was the goal, just to chat with as many women as possible, to share my mission, my vision, try to give them results so that the word of mouth can help. And is how Bright and Fit was born. And from 2-3 people joining, we have 60,000. So
the turning point, I think, was when Forbes published. It was the cover? No, it wasn't the cover at the time.
It wasn't on the cover, but the article was translated in English, The New Face of Fitness Online. And it was in February. So Bright and Fit was a pretty small dimension spreading in Italy, but COVID wasn't there. It looked like a premonition of the future.
But the crazy stuff, I mean, it's unbelievable what happened. I think we do have like a global consciousness because 2 months before COVID, nobody was talking about COVID, your fitness program started picking up. Yes. Remember?
Yeah.
Like people already knew it was in the air. It was unbelievable because we didn't do any marketing effort. Just Forbes, just the magazine.
First of all, that was Forbes, and secondly was like an energetic shift because I decided to break with my previous job because I still had my part-time job here in Dubai, and then I decided to go all in. So we got these two kind of explanation, but even
it's crazy when you close a door, you know, and you do it on purpose.
Yeah.
I always say the most powerful creative word is the word no. When you say no, this is not the reality I want, this is not the job I want, immediately, if you do it with purpose, with energy, immediately life is going to give you another opportunity. And this is what happened with you.
Yeah,
remember
definitely.
The pandemic, it was insane.
Sick. Sometimes we speak with some of our friends and they share all the TV show they could watch during the pandemic. I think that we never switched on the TV, a part of the news, once. We just worked all day, all night. I was going like 2-3 times a day. You were doing the same, and exploded.
We were live like 24 hours, basically.
24 hours.
Broadcasting. I was broadcasting for my entrepreneurs in my community. You were broadcasting for your women. Remember at night we were opening the email.
I was thinking the same.
Yeah, I was doing maybe 100 email replies every night, maybe more.
Yeah, we
until
were
3 a.m.
splitting, like I do 100, you do 100, and then I tried to organize my team like from distance. I called a friend of mine from university and I asked her, please, can you help me? And she didn't have any kind of background working online. I told her, just answer to the question. Just try to answer.
This is how we built the team. Yeah.
The onboarding was work on the spot. Try to work. And it was amazing. It was actually amazing because I still have girls since then that are following Bright and Fit. And the pandemic, that was a very difficult situation, became from them like a blooming situation in which they become more centered, they conquer a healthier lifestyle, they find out that through movement they can feel better, they can have even more energy for the family. So a lot of empowering things happen.
It's true. I mean, for your community, my community was hurt, maybe more because all the entrepreneurs, they were desperate. They had their business shut down. So I was trying to figure out a way for them, for every single person to find a solution. So I was working hard. But for your audience, I think you really made her spend some beautiful time for the situation that we had, you know.
Of course. Because we were already structured. Even if we didn't have a big team as we are now, we already had a community, we already had a website. Other people created fitness program online during the pandemic, but they came after. They didn't have a proper website, they didn't have proper challenges.
You were completely structured already.
Yes,
Did we have the app? Yeah, we had the app.
Yeah, it wasn't like the final version of the app.
But we did have an app, I think.
Kind of.
I don't remember, but I think we built the app. Or
it was
during
experimental.
that time.
It wasn't
but
working right.
We still had something, you know. So yeah, they were happy. And then you were invited on different stages to share.
Yeah.
So it kind of, I think your mission kind of changed, because before it was all about get in shape, lose weight. And now after that, it became more female empowerment. You know, you can be free, you can be the best version of yourself. What do you think?
Since the beginning, my goal was to demonstrate that our body follows our mind. So as soon as we don't feel comfortable in our mind, we cannot feel comfortable in our body, because you can have the best abs, you can have the best booty of the world, but then if you feel ugly, you're gonna look ugly. You're gonna look insecure. So the huge work is an inner work. And I find exercise and movement like a warm-up to try to create a connection with ourselves, to create a spot in our day, busy day, and focus on ourselves. And it's very important for women. So the goal at the beginning was this. And then, yes, of course, Bright and Fit evolved following my own evolution as a woman, even as an athlete also. So, yeah. But since the beginning, I got this deep connection, mind, body, empowerment.
Yeah. So you coached thousands of women.
Yeah, 60,000.
More than 60,000. Also with your work as a life coach. But tell me, what are the obstacles, the things that block women from doing sports, taking care of themselves, things that destroy their mindset? What do you think are the common mistakes or obstacles, and how do you think they can overcome it?
First of all, society, because as soon as we start to follow an healthier lifestyle, for example, we are in a restaurant and we say no to alcohol, or we say no to dessert just because we are trying to get fitter, people feel shame, like, why are you doing this? You're doing this because you want to look nice. It's just for aesthetic. It's not just for aesthetic, because come on, if you have a big belly, if you have body fat, it's not just about aesthetics. It's about health. It's a way that your body screams to you that is feeling unhealthy. So I didn't say that we need to be super skinny. I say that we need to normalize the fact that we can take care of ourselves. We can normalize the fact that I can choose a good salad, a good bowl rather than a pizza.
Yeah. The problem in our country is the culture, especially in Italy. Because in Italy, if you don't drink wine, you're a bad person.
Yes.
Okay, it's a cultural thing. So it's like, like the best man is the man who drink a lot, eat a lot. You know, if you don't drink and eat,
you're sick.
You're sick. Yeah, you're sick. Our grandmothers, you know, when you don't want desserts, then are you sick? What's going on? You don't drink? Why are you sick?
Or just one portion of tiramisu. Oh, come on.
No, but this is a serious problem. So if you want to take care of your body, if you want to look fit, be fit, you are labeled immediately as a crazy person.
Exactly. So it's very important to find like-minded people, because at the beginning it's very hard. Sometimes your family, your friends are not helping you. They are trying to pull you towards the previous version of yourself. But then if you find like-minded people, or you have a mentor, you have a path to follow, like to do more conscious choices during the day, trying to take care of yourself, and associate the taking care of yourself not just with aesthetics, but with health, well-being, the energy you feel. Another problem I find very commonly in my super women, Wonder Women as I define them, I don't know the exact translation from Italian, is motherhood. Motherhood is not easy at all. We dedicate our effort to the baby.
So they give birth and they start forgetting about themselves. Right?
They gave up on their life. They gave up on their goals. They paused their life. But one important thing is that, of course, it's very important to dedicate all our time to our babies, our mission. Even in general, we can speak also for work the same things. But if you don't have any more energy for your baby or your work, then it's not worth it. If you are lethargic, if you feel bad about yourself, everything is compromised. Your work, your partner, your baby. So that's why Bright and Fit can be very helpful for women, because you can train at home. The baby is sleeping for 10-15 minutes, perfect. You can keep your baby near you and start training from home. You have 1 square meter to train, that's more than enough. And that helps us to conquer a small part of our day just for us.
But I think the problem for many women is that as soon as they become mothers, they change identity. So now I'm a mother. I'm not a woman anymore. I'm not a businesswoman anymore.
Yes.
I'm not an employee anymore. I'm just a mother. So they change the way they dress. They change the clothes they wear. They become the mummy type, which is fine. You can be also that, but this is not who you are. This is a part of who you are. But for men, it's the same. I have so many friends that they have a baby and they become the daddy. Big belly, staying on the couch all day, and they stop working out, or when they get married also, many men. Because now I don't need to go there, and find attract women. Now I'm settled. Then I start drink more, eat more, and then I just stop take care of myself.
I think that is another product of the society, because sometimes I can speak as a woman. I'm not a mother yet, but sometimes society makes us ashamed if we can take care of ourselves, especially if we have a baby, if we have a family. So if I take like 20 minutes for myself to go out and jogging and my baby is crying at home, they say, what kind of mother are you? You need to take care of your baby. Or for example, after giving birth, if you wear a skirt, wow, you are a mother, you cannot wear like that. I think especially Italian mentality is like this in many regions. So we need to detach ourselves from all the limiting belief of people around us and do what makes us feel alive. Because as soon as we keep doing
this is so true.
We are dying inside.
And then what other obstacles you think? Maybe self-sabotage?
Self-sabotage, because the problem with people is that I define society divided in 3 different slots. I think there are dreamers, doers, and high performers. And actually people are mainly dreamers or doers. But the problem is that they don't build along the way. So there are people that are dreaming the future. They have a big idea. They are huge creative people. Okay. Other people are just doing their job, working. But none of these 2 categories are investing on their self-respect, self-consciousness. They are not investing on the self-confidence that is very important, because you start high-performing in life as soon as you have faith on your abilities.
It's true.
Investing on our mindset is not just about doing some meditation and detach from reality. It's about investing on speaking with ourselves, understand our inner goals, our inner wishes, and work through our mental block.
So when it comes to training your body, you can do squats, pull-ups, abs, whatever. When it comes to train your mind, how do you train your mind? How do you listen to your inner voice? How do you start this journey? Because it's all different sport, training the mind.
It's a long path. What I do inside my life coaching academy, that is Brighter Me Academy, the first step is to understand our thought. Because
Our what? Sorry.
our thoughts.
Our thoughts.
When I think about something, I immediately think that is correct. And we create every day from 6,000 to 60,000
Thoughts every day.
Every day. But the normal person believes that every kind of thinking is right. So I think to be unable to do something, I accept this kind of thinking. Mm-hmm. But the reality is that some product of our mind are not correct. Yeah. So we need to start filtering all this thinking in our life and understand which one of them are helpful for our evolution and which one of them are harmful for our evolution. But
how do you do that? You need to pay attention to what you think, basically.
Yeah, exactly. One exercise is just to write down the most recurring thinking you have during your day and start questioning this kind of thinking. For example, I think to being unable to run a marathon. Okay, what's true behind this and what's false? Which are the elements that demonstrate that is fully true and which kind of elements demonstrate that maybe isn't true? And if I have more elements demonstrating that it's not true, maybe it's a limiting belief.
Yeah. What I've been doing for years is self-observing, like observing my thoughts all the time. Sometimes I'm able to catch them when they are really bad. You know, like when I feel maybe a client has to pay me and it's too much, the amount, and I feel bad. I used to be like that. I felt bad when somebody was paying me because I had limiting belief about money. I thought, that taking money was wrong or it was impure. I don't know what was going on in my mind, but I felt bad when somebody was about to pay me. And then immediately I was able to catch that thoughts and say, no, money is neutral. Exactly. There's no positive money or bad money. It's neutral. It's the way you use it. Exactly. It's an amplifier of who you are. So I was able to change that. And now immediately if I feel bad when somebody has to pay, now it doesn't happen anymore, but it took me a while before I was able to fully transmute, change that thoughts right away when it was appearing. And I do it with so many things. As soon as I'm in a negative mood or negative thoughts cross my mind, I'm able to catch it right away. Like I have a security. It's like a security with the gate and hey, your bad thoughts, go away. You're not going to pass.
True.
But it takes a lot of effort, I think. It's like a full it takes the effort of staying present all the time. Exactly. Present.
And we are addicted to other devices, for example, our mobile phone, TV shows, social media, and everything is carrying us away from our reality.
You go on autopilot.
We lost completely the connection with ourselves. Or if you think about every morning, what are you doing? Sending messages, asking to your family or friend, how are you? How are you doing? And when is the last time when you ask the same to yourself? When is the last time that you sit down and just ask yourself how you're feeling, or you start journaling, just writing down what you're feeling? And
we never do that.
We never do that.
I only do it when I'm on a flight.
Interesting.
When I'm on a flight, because the connection, sometimes, most of the times we don't have Wi-Fi. Sometimes we do have actually, but I still keep my phone off in airplane mode. So I'm not connected with anyone. And I just use the time to write down something when I'm on a flight.
It should be a daily habit.
Yeah, I should take a flight every day now.
But I think that these are the first tools. Or even when we find ourselves blocked in front of something, as you shared your example, I have difficulties asking for more money. You need to sit down and ask yourself, which is the judgment I give to this action. For example, receiving money. And as soon as you sit down and start thinking, which is the judgment I give to this kind of action, you find out popping out all our limiting belief. And as soon as you start to rewrite your thinking, you start rewriting your reality.
Yeah.
Because we are what we think.
There is a very deep connection that it's not easy to prove scientifically. Now they are with quantum physics, they are able to prove, but it's on a mini level, too small when they use particle during the experiments. But with the proper reality, it's not easy to prove that. but we are both 100% sure that there is a deep connection between our thoughts and our reality.
Our mind is a projector for our reality.
Yeah.
What you are living, if you don't like your life, you need to start thinking about your belief. I think that the reality is just a mirror.
Yeah.
What you're experiencing is
Yeah.
just
And actually,
the
many
final
people
result.
say that thoughts create reality, but it's not just thoughts, it's how you feel.
How you feel. Your
How you
vibration, your energy.
Because your energy comes from how you feel, not from what you think.
Exactly.
Otherwise, everybody who say, I want to be a millionaire, I'm thinking about money all the time, you're not going to get rich if then you don't feel like you deserve that.
Exactly. So work on through your emotion. Many people are still attached to negative emotion. So maybe my boss shouted and I feel ashamed for things I did at work. And for all the day long,
Yeah.
I keep
You are in that
living
vibration.
the same vibration of shame. And shame is a very low vibration. And which scenarios in my life I can attract in a shame emotion state?
No, you can't change your reality.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but it's mandatory to do this kind of shift. And I think the most power you have it when you really believe in 100%, in every single cell of your body, you are 100% convinced that you create your own reality and you are responsible for it. When you do have that power, you are unstoppable.
Yeah, and the anger. I had on the anger. Anger is when you truly believe you deserve it and you truly want it. If the little part inside you or the little part of you with limiting belief tells you, I don't want it, I'm scared,
It's
you
too
will
much
never
for me.
get it.
Yeah.
Never.
Some people think it's too much for me.
Yeah.
It's too much. I don't deserve it. I don't deserve it is the biggest one, I think.
Then you see, you need to work on your self-worth. To
Yeah.
shift big thing and become an high performer.
Yeah. But you remember when I think when you left your job here, it's when you really created, it's like you made a quantum leap.
Yeah.
You changed the trajectory of your life because you were sick and tired and you say, no, this is not for me anymore. And when you say that, boom, immediately everything changed because you started feeling that you deserve more and that you were ready for it. And then, boom, you got success.
Yeah, exactly. Because I didn't give myself any kind of other alternatives. The plan B.
Yeah, you were all in.
I was lean, yes, of course. And I decided that was my path. And as soon as I started living truly my mission, I felt aligned. Everything was flowing. And before, I was working like 8 hours a day. I felt completely drained. These days, I can work like yesterday, 12 hours, just seated for 12 hours. I'm not tired anymore because I'm living my dream life. I'm living my mission.
Yeah.
And for me, it's just enough, like yesterday, go live, feel like 100 women connected and writing down, I'm happy, Alice, I transformed my life, that I feel recharged again.
Because when you do something that you love, that is aligned with your mission, you don't get the energy from your body, you get it from above, literally. It's more like a spiritual energy that you have. This happens to me as well. So now, before I take any business venture, any proposal, any collaboration, I just ask myself, is it gonna make me feel good? If the answer is yes, then I'm gonna do it. And I know it's gonna be successful. But even when it comes to selecting clients, I have clients who ask me for help for their marketing because they want to expand online. Then I look at their business. But if I don't like the business, or if I don't believe in what they're doing, or if I think it's not ethically okay, because some businesses are shady, I got online casinos, I got people who do businesses that I just don't like, I don't support, then they can pay me a lot of money, but I still don't want to do it. Because I know that if I accept and if I work for something that I don't like and I don't believe in, it's not going to work. Or maybe it will be successful, but I'm not going to feel good.
Yeah.
My
Quantum
health
marketing.
is going to pay the price. I know, 100%.
I truly believe in that. Quantum marketing is a thing.
Quantum marketing.
You remember my final thesis of university was about quantum marketing.
Quantum marketing, but everything is quantum. I really believe it. Also, when we, here we produce a lot of podcasts, we produce also advertising for my businesses, but also for other businesses. And it's crazy that sometimes we tested the same script, exactly the same audience when you run the advertising, same thing. For one person is working, for the other person is not working. Tell me how. Because business is quantum. Marketing is quantum. If you have a good vibration, people feel it, your customer feel it. If you are on a mission, the universe, God, internet, you can call it whatever you want, it's gonna give you the clients. For sure, if you are on a mission. But if you just do it for money, if you just do it for ego, if you just do it because you want to be successful without a purpose, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. What I do it for purpose. Because we like people who have a business, we want them to succeed. And I've been an entrepreneur many years, so I know how bad it is when you really believe in something and it's not working because you don't have visibility. So I want to help people get more visibility and attract high-ticket clients. And for you, it's the same. You know what it is when you just stop working out, when your body gets weaker. You know how it is to be shy, to be ashamed of your own body. This is why it's successful.
Yeah, if you feel the same pain as your clients, you are really able to help them. That's why I truly believe that we need to choose our mentor carefully. And if this kind of people really went through our same difficulties, I think that they can guide us better than others.
Yeah. Before we go, share something about your career as an athlete.
Okay.
What's going on? What's the next goal, by the way?
Next goal is like top secret, but...
Top secret?
Top secret.
I'm
not thinking about it much, but it's going to be in July. Is a big goal of mine, trying to push me farther, a little bit farther. I think that I have this little part of me that is asking every time to do something more, something difficult to achieve. Yeah. I love to challenge myself a lot because I think that if done it right, can help you to empower yourself a lot. And if I look back in the years, I think that I empowered myself a lot, putting a small goal, overarching goal as I define them. So a big goal achieved by small steps.
So now you're running?
I'm running a lot. I went through kind of big difficulties in the last 4 years because I got pericardial effusion post-viral after COVID for 3 times. So I found myself fighting again the historical monster of immobility. I couldn't move.
You remember I always remember that we were at Blue Waters, the bridge, connecting JBR to Blue Waters. We had to stop in the middle of the bridge because you couldn't walk. Remember, you couldn't breathe.
It's not hilly at all.
You couldn't breathe.
Yeah, I couldn't breathe. I felt myself inside a cage and like an 80 years old body with a 20 years old mind. So it was quite a struggle.
But you were falling asleep, remember, during the day. You were always tired.
You got already the experience of Alice 80 years old.
Yeah. No, it was bad. It was bad.
It was very
bad. But I
bad.
think it made you stronger because now that you healed, you're flying with your
That
running.
helped me a lot. First of all, because I came back with more anger, just to make a connection with what I said before, and made me realize that the big work we can do without moving our body is with our mindset. And is where my Brighter Me Academy was born. Because in that moment in my life, I started studying Reiki, energy, crystals. So I evolved a lot as a human. Even Brighten Fit evolved a lot on the mindset side. So we have 3 big sectors inside Brighten Fit. Before was more movement, workouts, and nutrition. And after that, mindset became the largest part of Brighten Fit.
Because you couldn't work out. So
I focused into my mind. And I still remember that all this time, even if it was difficult, I promised myself and I had faith in coming back stronger. So I started visualizing myself winning all the running races. And before COVID and before the pericardial effusion, I wasn't strong. We look at my own time in running. I was a very slow runner. So I wasn't even able to finish a 10K in 1 hour. So I was pretty slow. But as soon as I resumed my activity with no running background, training background, just bright and fit, very low intensity, I started winning.
Yeah, you started winning. Yeah.
So I think that sometimes the work we do inside our minds can affect our body.
Yeah.
And there are studies about that.
Because you can't explain it, because you haven't been training for 2 years.
No.
Then you come back, you start winning races.
Yeah, 3 years.
Yeah.
The work was just mobility, flexibility.
Yoga, remember?
Breath, yoga. Bright and Fit helped me a lot because it was like a structural activity on my strength. So I think that I can thanks Bright and Fit a lot for the strength I feel in my legs. But no background. And I feel like when I'm in a race and I feel pain, I feel tired, what pushed me farther is just to have a revenge against all the blocks I got in my life. And when I see other people at the start line, I don't feel less than them. Sometimes when we went through difficulties, we feel like we're 3 steps back. But I share the same idea with David Goggins. As soon as I went through more things, I feel more strong than other people. And I feel that I deserve more to win than them.
Because you've been through the struggles.
Exactly.
So now you feel that you really deserve it.
I tell myself that podium is mine because I deserve it.
Yeah.
And as soon as you start saying that you deserve it, you start winning.
I think what you're saying is very true. Like when you experience so many difficulties and you still don't give up, then you develop the real deep sense of the feeling that you really deserve it. Because you went through all these struggles, difficulties, pain, these moments that you're about to give up, but you don't. And then you're like, now the podium is mine. Now the victory is mine. And you really feel you deserve it. So boom, the reality, make it happen for you.
Exactly. And the good relationship with yourself. You need to have faith in a race, in your life. As soon as you have a good relationship with yourself, maybe you are going through difficulties in a race, you feel like you cannot breathe, that you are tired, that you want to stop. But as soon as you start connecting with yourself, you connect with your purpose, your goal, and you know that you can give more.
Yeah. Thank you, Alice. Final message to the audience.
Never stop believing in yourself. Start consciously connecting with the little part of yourself that already know your future and your mission that can be helpful for all the humanity.
Yes. Amazing. And above all, never give up. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Alice, for coming.
Thank you.